moving on, right? Moving on. This is the perfect segue.
Perfect.
I don't know what we're doing next. I don't know what's going on and behind closed doors, but we fired Thibs after a very good season. We make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and we lose. 5-1? No, I'm saying 4-1.
No,
Sorry,
4-2.
And I just want to read this out there, and this is a shout out to Shams, right? Thibs led the Knicks to their first Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years. We made the playoffs in 4 to 5 years and led the Knicks to consecutive 50-plus wins for the first time since the 1990s. So, fellas, let's recap. Yes, we fall short this year. All right, we fall short to the Pacers. It could have been a lot of nuances. All right, we can blame it on Cat, we can blame it on bad play, we can blame it on not showing up, we can point fingers, but what is it for, like we just spoke up here, what is it for an NBA team to actually, an NBA coach to hold on to their job? Like, what is success in the NBA right now?
To me, there is none. Especially these past couple of years, there's no certainty that as a coach you will hold them to your job. If a player doesn't like you, you're gone. If you don't reach the ultimate goal in a certain time frame, you're gone. So I really don't. To me, in this past couple of years, there's no answer that a coach's job is safe. This feels to me really reactionary. If we watched that game in that bar in Houston on Saturday, and then on Tuesday I got the word, and I couldn't believe it because I feel like this was a little bit too soon. Like I just lost.
Let it marinate
a little bit. Yeah. But to me, this is the old Knicks and how the owner was in the past of being just too reactionary. And as fans, and I kind of, as crazy as it sounds, I feel like this is why I'm glad we lost, because we were getting too ahead of ourselves. And I also want to point out, for the past, I think 3 to 4 years, a lot of people don't know, teams that lost in the finals the previous year ended up making it to the finals the next year. For example, Pacers lost last year to Boston in the conference finals. Where are they at now? The finals. Year before that, Eastern Conference, who was in that, was it Heat? Year before that, they were in the Eastern Conference. Next year, they made it to the finals. They beat Boston. They made it to the finals to play Denver. So like, we're on the right trajectory. You want to keep that nucleus while you still have it before you go in and blow stuff up.
Yeah.
So like, this year, to me, this summer, the Knicks definitely, hopefully, if we would have kept Thibs there, I feel like they would have took this off season to really lock in, attack the regular season, and then come into the postseason more focused and aggressive, and potentially the Knicks would be in the finals next year. But I think you kind of cut your nose to spite your face in this case, because like, I get it. Tom does display insanity, because I've been watching him Chicago with, having you starter 5, trusting those guys, and playing the limited bench, and the result is that we always lose. The farthest he's ever been is the Eastern Conference Finals. From Chicago to Minnesota, and now with the Knicks. And the thing about insanity, if you continue to do the same thing at the same results, switch up on insanity. So I understand that dilemma there, because it's like, all right, his ceiling is probably just the Eastern Conference Finals. We need somebody to take us over the top. But to me, especially with the way the league is going, and the way you build that team, because I think their plan was to play Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. And what happened there, they were praying what happened in the second round, what happened in the Eastern Conference Finals. But shit don't work out like that. So, I just don't know who they get next. So that's the only thing. I don't know who's out there.
I think Thibs did the best that he could. I mean, that Cat trade was pretty late in the offseason. We were all shocked when we heard we lose, but to be able on the fly to bring in a guy that you previously coached, but still bring him into the chemistry of the team, make it to the conference finals, a couple wins away from the finals. But I think ultimately, he shot himself in the foot, and it showed. Game 1, 14-point lead, 2 minutes left. You got Bridges out there 40 plus, you got OG out there 40 plus. How do you expect these guys to close games? And that was always the difference. Rick Carlisle did what? He rotated guys into that ready. Benedict Mathurin, Bradley, the big man, Obi. These guys, they get big minutes during the regular season, but in the playoffs, you're gonna need everybody. And in my opinion, he waited too late. He waited too late to give DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet, those guys some looks. He kind of handcuffed Deuce a little bit to the point where we were only seeing him maybe 10 to 15 minutes a half. You need to have him out there to chase around McConnell. So I just think Thibs' inability to make adjustments, especially when it's playoff time. This is not the regular season. This is for the finals, and he just, he was stuck in his ways. And it got them to the conference finals, but granted, to get to the NBA finals, you got to be able to make adjustments. It's a new style NBA. These guys don't want to be handcuffed. I definitely saw some of the body language, between OG and Cat arguing on the bench. Brunson, Hart, guys that usually hustle, not getting back on defense. And what does that say? You're sending a message to your coach, right? I don't want to play for you. I don't agree with what we're running. And, I just think Father Time caught up to him. He's from an old school, the Doc Rivers kind of coaching style where it's just, I'm going to have my best 5 out there and we'll see what happens. And in this new age of basketball, you need a small ball lineup. You need a lineup for, crashing offensive rebounds. You need a defensive lineup. To Ali's point, Thibs is just, my 5 is my 5. If Mikal Bridges is 3 for 18, I'm letting him go out there for 48 minutes. And granted, it worked against the Celtics, but you had a bruised up Tatum and a not 100% Porzingis and Brown. But when you face a team with Halliburton and Siakam, there's no reason why Siakam gets 30 plus points. What is the adjustments? Are you double teaming? Are you bringing a new defender? He didn't make any of it. He just let his guys go out there and kind of just watch and see what would happen. And we got sent home. So the timing, I agree with Ali, is a little abrupt, but I think ultimately they needed somebody to step into that locker room and redo things. And they need to bolster up that bench a little bit. But
no, go ahead.
I mean,
that's my take.
I love both y'all takes, and it's definitely what I've seen and watched. Is definitely I agree with the late adjustments. Just running with the Twin Towers, so to speak, with Karl Anthony Towns and Mitch, where he had them out there for too long and left Hart on the bench. And then obviously what you just said was just regurgitating, just playing, giving too many minutes to Mikal, to OG, and not going to Shaman. That was just too much of a late decision to do so. But I mean, it comes off Jalen Brunson average 26, 7.3 assists, and then following with Karl Anthony Towns 24.4, 3.1 assists, and 2.9. So it's just, and both from shooting 42% from deep. It's like I said before, it's a lot of nuances, right? It's Thibs with his late rotations, and then you can say Cat not playing defense, and then you can say
I was just throwing Brunson there too. I didn't like
a
the way
lot
he
of
played
foul
defense.
trouble.
I didn't like it.
But that's the thing though,
you feel what I'm saying?
If your star player is playing like that, that's something that is a disconnect between the coach.
I know.
The coach has to.
I know. Like in Brunson's case, I think was an advocate for Thibs because he's had his best nearly MVP years under Thibs.
Yeah.
I mean that's just Thibs' formula. The point guard will always go off, but like to hear from you, like to me, your general that he wanted this guy and you got rid of him, I think that's also slapping his face. So.
Right, because his pops is also close to Thibs.
Some people saying dark horse next coach.
See, that's conflict.
I don't see that.
That's conflict.
Yeah.
That's conflict.
I mean, he might not have been up there because the next guy would probably clean out that staff.
It's possible.
True. So what would y'all want to see going forward for the Knicks? Throwing it out there, I don't know how, I'm about to look up how much Cat has on his
He's making the most money.
contract.
I think he got another year.
I think the roster's good. I know
You
people
keep-
are
keep
floating
saying-
Giannis around, but I don't know.
I saw KD
There was rumors that they tried to get him during the deadline.
for Cat.
But it's just,
Everybody relax.
KD
This-
Cat.
as a Knicks fan,
No,
I remember the dark days.
KD
nobody
for Cat.
wanted to come.
We listen, like I think in New York we have to build.
Yeah.
Along these small market teams we got.
I mean, you said 4 out of 5, 50 plus wins. We've been to playoffs, so we're a brand.
And if we
right?
follow the trend that's going on right now, we lost in the conference finals. We should keep run this back, and I think we're gonna make the finals next
Add
year.
more pieces to that bench.
The East is
That's
open,
it.
in my opinion.
Add more pieces to that bench.
Yeah,
Figure out a way to get Karl Anthony Towns not into foul trouble. We got him.
there's no figuring out. He's been 10 years in the league. He's a dickhead. I'm sorry, I've been
It
telling you
just-
this the longest.
You know, I'm comparing this to when the Celtics got rid of Brad Stevens and everyone was kind of losing their mind, right?
No, he went upstairs.
Well, he went upstairs, right? So let's say they, Thibs is not gonna come back and work for the organization, but this will kind of be our moment, right? We got rid of our coach that took us to the promised land, so to speak. The guy that steps in, though, he has to be a voice of reason and he has to be able to resonate with these players.
And then like spread the floor. Again, my biggest thing with the Knicks, I think they can run it back. You're gonna have to limit sometime in spot minutes. You'll have to limit Karl Anthony Towns since he is a defensive liability. As a big man, moving his feet is kind of bad.
It's terrible.
Like it's kind of bad, and then when he does these the hooks.
But that's also on the coach too, though. You playing drop coverage against Halliburton.
I don't think you playing drop cover. You tell the guy to step up, and he doesn't step up. What can you do? Step up. My feet don't move how I want them to move.
So right now, Cat is at 159 million guaranteed. Followed by OG. Well, OG's on top, of course. 164 million guaranteed. And then Brunson, 138. And then now Mikal, 48. Josh Hart, 58. And then Mitchell Robinson, 27.
That's your core right there.
Right. I think once you find a coach that plays everybody on the bench, like everybody can play that pressure is trash. How are you trash when you're not playing?
Yeah.
You're not getting no burn.
True.
My thing is this: I want us also to calm down. Like everybody's talking about Giannis, KD, yeah. Did we not learn from what happened when we were building? When we were building, I remember the days of Wilson Chandler, Danilo Gallinari. Who do we have? Tyson Chandler was there. Mm-hmm. We were building it slowly. We were getting wins.
And then we cashed out for
Then we blew it all up. And how far did we get second round? So far as we got with Melo.
I mean, that J.R. Iman team was supposed to be it. So.
Yeah, but as far as we got was what? Second round. Mike Woodson got us in the second round. We ran into, of course, LeBron was there. We lost to, ironically, the Pacers with Paul George and Roy Hibbert and Danny Granger.
Yeah.
Danny Granger. We lost to those guys. So to me, I feel like even though we traded for OG, Jalen, Mikal, and Carrington Towns, it felt like something that we've been built. It's being built piece by piece. Not something that you just blow up for max player and then your bench is limited to.
And that's why it's tough, because you would think we could accomplish it with Thibs at the helm. Because he was there from the beginning.
Well, like again, watching him in Chicago, and I got a lot of love for Thibs, but he also shoots himself in the foot.
I think for me, we gotta get some shooting off the bench. Really, somebody get hot, a couple threes, whatever, spread the floor.
Shame it.
But
he get no burn.
Somebody at a higher level than that, and we just need another facilitator off the bench, honestly. I mean, Brunson, he's gonna do his thing when the starters are in, but I think Deuce is a little bit better off ball. So you get a guy like like McConnell, like we just talked about it, McConnell or Caruso, not someone that can run the offense, but just is comfortable setting up the plays.
Shit, Drew's available. Go get him.
And yeah,
You don't want Drew?
Drew Holiday
Off the bench?
If he wants to come off the bench.
Yeah,
I know if he wants to. I think
if he accepts that.
I think Drew plays whatever you want to play.
So right now you got Karl-Anthony Towns through 27, 28.
Okay. So
you got OG 28 to 29.
Okay.
Brunson 25 to 26. He could take a play option. And then between Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges, we have him. Well, right now he got opt out and dip out if he wants to this year.
5 first-round picks and he got
first round picks and he leaves. Yeah.
And then Josh Hart, 27, 28. Yeah.
I think Hart or Bridges gotta go. Unfortunately.
I think Karl-Anthony Towns gotta go.
Come on, though. That's crazy. So your team make it to the conference finals, you get traded back to back.
That defense.
Hey, listen, they said trade him to
that defense is
trade him to Phoenix for KD, so him and Devin Booker can rekindle Kentucky days.
That defense is liability.
But if we pick up KD, then
Mitchell 5.
I don't like that.
That defense is a liability.
I'm not big on the trade either right now. I don't want nobody to get traded.
Or you tell Cat you gotta go call Melo. You need to go call Kevin Garnett.
I think it's just an attitude thing. Yes,
he needs to get in the lab.
Right.
And stop with this getting past somebody and hooking.
It's about mentality.
He needs more of an offensive bag.
You see,
he needs to build his arts, and then he needs to start doing some
I'm surprised.
defensive
I'm surprised you're saying that, because I remember those Minnesota conversations we had. I remember Minnesota, folks.
Yeah,
I have not forgotten. This is why I didn't want him. I'm sorry. This goes back to why.
But it works. It works in this system, though.
Again, but to take you over the top,
right?
He has I don't see it.
Yeah. No, I definitely. We saw spurts of it. We saw it in that fourth quarter when he had 20 or 24. Like when he puts his mind to it, he just be the dominant force.
But just like Thibs, bro, he's been in the league long enough. You're not telling me nothing different. Just like Thibs, their ceiling, the farthest they can get you is the Eastern Conference or the Conference Finals.
But it's like,
that's
all right, you're gonna cash out on this.
I'm not saying, but this is why I didn't want to be in a situation with Cat to begin with.
But look at the weaknesses that we had, right? We had no on-ball defense on Halliburton. We don't have no wing defense against Siakam. Although we have OG and Mikal, for some reason.
Now Siakam, they know each other. So Siakam
okay. So I'll give you that. But I'm saying the weaknesses that the Knicks had was not because of Cat. If anything, Cat gave us a boost.
It was that drop coverage and then. Bro, he got 2 fouls in 5 minutes in the first quarter.
But the thing is, though, he'll do that, and then the rest of the game he'll play it smooth. He'll play it.
You know why? Because he can't get back in the game.
Yeah.
Like, bro, we see this in Minnesota literally last year. He was unplayable.
I think, well, with the Knicks' success came from Mitchell's offensive rebounds
Defense.
and Cat's ability to spread the court.
Right, I hear you on that. But
You know?
at certain points with Minnesota last year, bro, we literally witnessed.
Yeah, it was the same thing. It was the same
Bird
thing.
was getting more minutes.
Yeah. In certain series, though. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think, I don't know, cashing out on KD, man. And
No,
just
I don't know about a trade. I'm not a
Yeah.
big fan of a trade right now because we built something. I don't know.
I think if we get better players to support the team,
I'm in such a weird place right
I
now.
feel like that whole built thing is out the window and collapsed because now you got rid of Thibs. So now it's just like it's everything.
Is Dante gonna be a free agent?
I think he might be free. We could have used Dante against Indiana for sure.
100%.
Well, I guess since we're here, what grade would you give
for
the Eastern Conference Finals for the Knicks?
Like a B minus.
Yeah, B minus.
just the series.
Just their performance overall.
A B minus. Because he had opportunities and they just
B
wanted
minus, C plus, low key.
free throws. Yeah,
C+.
free throws.
Turnovers.
Like
yeah.
I got so sick and tired of seeing Josh bring the ball down, jump off, and not know where to
And
throw
then
the
he
ball.
also got beat backdoor a lot too.
Many times watching the ball.
Watching the ball.
Sometimes what pissed me off was game 5 when they played with effort. I'm like, where was that effort throughout all games?
Mm-hmm.
That came out with more intention and effort. That's what you had to do to beat Indiana. But
Yeah, we'll leave it to them.
find your Knicks fans, talk to them, make sure they're okay. They're going through a lot right now.
Knicks fans, what are we doing, man?
I mean, I saw them in the club.
What's the next?
They put finals 2026 when they brought out the bottles.
For who? Who's in the club?
PJ Tucker, Cameron Payne, Josh Hart, Cat.
He could have got some more burn.
PJ Tucker?
Yeah. Somebody out there to just throw some bodies around.
Body at Seattle. That's another extra body. But no Cred fan, let us know in the comment section on Instagram how you feel about Thibs being fired. How you feel about the fallout from the Knicks losing in the East Conference.
Shout out to Thibs though.
And who y'all got?
Shout out to Thibs, man.
Who y'all got? I mean, he's gonna get paid. You know he's owed money, right? I want to be a fired NBA coach. You know the Pistons and Suns owe Monty was $85 million?
Jeez.
I want to get fired. Let me just get fired. Pay me, bro.
New York, we were so close, baby.
I know.
So close.
I would have stuck it out one more year.
The city would have been on fire if we made it to the finals,
I
bro.
would have stuck it out one more year.
Woo! Magic Game 1, SGA versus Messi.
It would have been OKC.
And we got the Cornhuskers.
Literally.